Numbers with Bob, you get Bob Cousy, Russell numbers this season, probably the best numbers he ever had in his career. Welcome to the Daily Thinker podcast, where we talk about faith, basketball, and apologetics. Today, I have a great episode for you guys. We will be talking about Jerry West's comments towards JJ Redick. And this is what Jerry West had to say. Take a listen.
On comments like that about your generation and the generations that paved the way.
Well, obviously the game is completely different. The athletes are completely different. And I know JJ just a little bit. He's a very smart kid and everything. But tell me what his career looked like. What did he do that determined games? He averaged 12 points a game in the league? Somewhere along the way, numbers count. At that point in time, the players aren't what they used to be. JJ certainly wasn't going to guard the elite players. And so you can nitpick anyone. And I'm not, the only reason I'm talking about him is because he was not an elite player, but he was a very good player. But he had a place on the team because of his ability to shoot the ball. My era, I was an athlete way before my time. I had a huge vertical. Probably no one in the league was much faster than me. And certainly the competitive part of it, I would put myself among any player that played the game. Today also, winning is all that matters. That's what drove me. And I subtly got better every year. We didn't have the facilities to get better. We had to work in the summers to support our family. JJ should be very thankful that he's made as much money as he's made. And Bob Cousy, who I played against a couple of years, not very long, I just think it's very disrespectful myself.
Let's peel this ugly onion back. For full context, JJ Redick and Mad Dog were on First Take, okay? And JJ Redick, he's debating Mad Dog. He's saying, hey, Mad Dog, guess what? Chris Paul is an all-time great. And Mad Dog is like, no, Chris Paul is not an all-time great. Chris Paul is not a top 5 player. He's not a transcendent player. Chris Paul did not change the game. Bob Cousy changed the game. Now think about it. JJ Redick, I'm not saying he's using full emotion here. He is using logic and he is being objective at the same time as well. JJ Redick is like, hey man, I played with Chris Paul. I know Chris Paul is an all-time great point guard just based off skill and his numbers alone, even though he doesn't have any championships or he doesn't have an MVP at all. Bob Cousy has an MVP. He has 6 NBA championships. Okay, 6. Now, mind you, JJ Redick did say, hey, he played in a league where it's 8 to 10 teams in the league. Now it's 30 teams. Of course, basketball is a global game. Now we will get that. We'll talk about that later on in the video. But you see the argument. JJ is saying, hey, Chris Paul is an all-time great. Mad Dog saying, Chris Paul is not an all-time great. He said Bob Cousy is all-time great. He changed the game. And now, if we want to be honest, okay, if we want to be objective, we can say, hey, Bob Cousy was an all-time great, okay? But the real question is, was Bob Cousy an all-time great according to his skill, the numbers he put up night in and night out? Or how he pioneered the game, how he changed the game of basketball, bringing in the flashy pass. Okay, so it's more attractive. Back then, we had to get more eyes on the NBA because a lot of people were not watching basketball. Okay, basketball was not this global game we see today with Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. You can just go search up highlights. You did not have the internet. Okay, you didn't have all those things. So Bob Cousy changed the game then. Okay, he had letters like, you can hear this from Bob Cousy himself. He used to have coaches writing him and saying, hey, you messing up the game. Players out there in high school trying to throw the ball behind the head, lay the ball up behind the head, and they cannot do this. So, yes, did Bob Cousy change the game in that way? Absolutely. The game was just starting. The NBA was only a couple of years old, probably 4, 5, 6 years old. NBA was founded in, 1946? 1946. He came in 1950, if I'm not mistaken. So, yeah. Was Bob Cousy all-time great? Okay, Bob Cousy was an all-time great. But in the same breath, you cannot compare that era of basketball because it was something new, just something brand new to how well basketball is played and how it evolved today. We cannot do that. If we just want to be objective, I just want to be honest, just look into this evidence right here. This is clear evidence that what JJ Redick said was not that bad. If we are just being objective and being honest. Bob Cousy, his career averages 18.4, 5.2 rebounds, 7.5 assists, and shot 37% from the field. And Mad Dog is making an argument saying that he is an all-time great point guard. Now listen up. Before you say anything, listen to this here. Russell Westbrook this season averaged 18, 7.5, 7.5, almost 18, 8, and 8, and shot 44% from the field. And you have people on TV, you have people saying that Russell Westbrook is the worst, one of the worst point guards we have ever seen. Can you see the standards of basketball right now and the standards that they had back then? So yes, for pioneering the game, Bob Cousy was all-time great. As far as skill and numbers, we cannot compare that to the game today, in my opinion. You cannot. There's no way. The scales are much different. I just gave you a great example. Westbrook is putting up 18, 7, and 7, shooting 44% from the field. And yes, Bob Cousy never shot 44% from the field, but Russell shot that this season. And we called him a bum. Literally, people are calling him a bum. If you put these, you put Russell, those numbers, if you get Bob Cousy, Russell numbers this season, probably the best numbers he ever had in his career. If we are just being objective here, take emotion out. Just look at the numbers, look at the facts. And that's exactly what I'm doing. Of course, did I see Bob Cousy play? Not at all. I didn't even see Michael Jordan play. I was born in the 90s, in the late 90s, almost 2000s. So what I'm saying is, yes, did he kind of disrespect them? Yeah, he did, saying he played against firemen and plumbers. You have to respect these guys because, of course, they had to get a second job because they could not make $14 million a year because they had to build up the league to what it is today. Similar to the WNBA, a lot of people expect the WNBA to get paid the way NBA players get paid today. But the WNBA only been around for 25 years. The NBA has been around for 75 years. In the year 25 of the NBA players were not getting paid $50 million a year, $47 million a year, had all these TV deals. It takes time to build things. And of course, when the WNBA gets built up and they start making real, like a lot of money, millions of dollars, you will see the Candace Parkers and all these other names be true pioneers of the game. Lisa Leslie, all those names, the names can go on and on and on. But you look at the NBA, it's the same situation. Yes, Bob Cousy, he helped pioneer the game. Of course he did. That was great. That's awesome. And now, did he play against plumbers and things? Maybe he did. Maybe that is true. I don't know. I didn't look into the facts. I didn't look into that. But what I did look into was that these NBA players back then, they did have two jobs. You had to have two jobs, okay? Because you weren't getting paid that much. And you need to provide for your family. So, of course, you wasn't getting paid in the off season, okay, like you get paid in the off season now. So, of course, you had to get that second job to make money come in. So, respect. Elgin Baylor literally played. I mean, literally not played, literally fought in a war. Same year he played in the NBA. Much respect to Elgin Baylor. Much respect to Elgin Baylor. Okay, much respect to Bob Cousy, to Jerry West, people who helped build the NBA up to something that we see what it is now. But let's just be objective here. Okay, we have to stop this. Okay, just according to this logic, according to Mad Dog's logic, you cannot call Russell Westbrook a bad player. You have to call Russell Westbrook an all-time great. Now, does Russell Westbrook have 6 championships? No, but Russell Westbrook did not play in the team, play in the era with 8 to 10 teams. Okay, he did not. And JJ Redick, of course, he averaged 12, but Bob Cousy only averaged 6 more than that. Man, and people might say this is crazy. I'm wrong. I'm young. I don't know what I'm talking about. But I'm just looking at the numbers. And from these numbers, this is what the facts are telling me. Y'all let me know if I'm wrong. Okay. But no, I don't think JJ Redick disrespected Jerry West like those greats. When Mad Dog made a great point. He made first NBA All-Team, okay? First NBA All-Team with Oscar Robertson and Jerry West in the lead. That is impressive, okay? That's impressive. That's great. That is great. You can't say nothing about that. Jerry West is an all-time great. All-time great. Oscar Robertson, all-time great. Of course they are. They really, really are. That's a good point. But when you peel that onion back, look at these numbers, and you ask yourself, was he all-time great compared to standards that we give NBA players now? Dog, it's not even close. It's not even close at all. But like I said, a lot of old heads, they do disrespect young guys, and a lot of young guys do disrespect the older cats. But what I don't see a lot of younger cats disrespecting old legends. Like, I just saw LeBron give a shout out to Mark Price. Like, I would love to play with this guy. Like, you don't see those top NBA players or NBA players disrespecting Kareem, disrespecting Jerry West, disrespecting Oscar Robertson, disrespecting Kareem, Magic, Jordan, Bird, Ewing, like Barkley. You don't see that, okay? You see a little bit of Barkley and KD go back and forth that, but you see Barkley disrespect Kevin Durant. He never been a bus driver. A lot of young guys get disrespected. LeBron is weak. KD is weak. Steph wouldn't do this in our league. We have players disrespecting Giannis almost every single day. Oakley said that Giannis could not play in his league. He's too soft. He's not good enough. Like, the disrespect comes both ways. But now the main issue is that we need to start arguing. We need to start really looking at this as, hey, when we say all-time great, are we talking about because they pioneered the game? They helped usher in basketball and NBA basketball to America, and now it's a global sport? Or are we just looking at the numbers and the skill of the players? Which one are we looking at? Y'all let me know. Which one are you guys looking at? Because concerning JJ Redick comments, hey, I'm like, it's not that bad. And he's not that off, to be honest. He's not that off. But I would not disrespect none of those all-time greats because they pioneered the game to what I see today. And that's why I can watch and enjoy NBA basketball, and that's why it's a global sport. Y'all let me know in the comments below. Was Jerry West right or wrong for calling out JJ Redick? Y'all let me know that in the comments below. Until next time, see you guys later. Peace.